Hey everybody, welcome to my vlog. I'm Jamie. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe. I take you around to a lot of campgrounds. We go on a lot of cruises, lots of travel vlogs, but thank you for joining us. Today, I'm in one of my favorite state parks, Cape Henlopen. It's located in Lewis, Delaware. And let me tell you, if you're a World War II fan, you have to come here. They have so many relics from World War II here. It's amazing. The one behind me is a shot tower. They used these as lookout towers during World War II to look out into the ocean. There's several of them on the property, but this one behind me, you can even go up to the very top. Come check it out with us.
Yeah.
As war was raging in Europe, the United States saw the need to protect the coast from the Nazi naval threats. Delaware Bay was of prime concern. The Army quickly built Fort Miles in 2 years at Cape Henlopen to protect the industrialized and shipbuilding cities of Wilmington and Philadelphia. Fort DuPont and Fort Delaware near Delaware City and Fort Malt in New Jersey were thought to be too far up the river to be a viable defense. The observation towers along Delaware's coast were part of the overall defense of the coast. They were the spotters for two 16-inch guns, two 12-inch guns, and four 6-inch guns at Fort Miles. An underwater minefield was also set up from Cape Henlopen to Cape May. Each mine could be turned off electronically to allow friendly ships to pass. Oh wow. Towers were equipped with various optical instruments for acquiring and observing targets. The most common was the azimuth sighting rangefinder. The rangefinder were mounted on concrete columns inside the towers, positioned to see through the tower slits. These scopes were used to determine the position of a target. An azimuth is a measure along the horizon of the angle between an object and a reference point. Just a caution. Interesting. It's a lot of steps. But it's good exercise, right? We made it. It is. That's a lot of steps. But totally worth the view. Look at this. It's just so cool that you can see the ocean, you can see the World War II barracks, which we're heading to next. It's just a lot of steps. And one out there closer to the ocean as well. You can also see they have two lighthouses out there. We'll have to go to the lighthouse as well. All right, so the next place we're gonna head is over here, which is actually some of the barracks for the World War II. And it's also known as Fort Miles. All right, let's head there next. Nothing like having kids and trying to teach about World War II. Makes me think I probably need to learn more.
Just before World War, the United States War Department began upgrades of the harbor defenses. That process.
They built new fortifications here at Cape Henlopen that became known as Fort Miles. The fort grew as the members of the 261st and 21st Coast Artillery units constructed new buildings. After the war, the U.S. Army used the post for research and development, and this cantonment area became a recreational post. In 1964, the Army gave the first parcel of Fort Miles to the state of Delaware, creating Cape Henlopen State Park. The Army continued to turn over land with the last parcel in 1996. Eventually, the fort housed 2,300 soldiers, guns that could fire more than 25 miles out to sea, and the second largest underwater minefield along the east coast of the United States. He was on your Patriot program.
I know. Uncle Sam.
Yeah, good job. I don't know what they use the barracks for now, other than just a piece of history. They're not open for the public. Except there is one bunker that is, and it's the Fort Miles Museum, which is at the end of the walkway, which we're making our way to.
Yeah.
This is an 8-inch gun. Look at that bad boy. Huge. No, and I take it back if I ever called these cannons in the video. They're not cannons. This isn't the Revolutionary War. I think they just look like cannons to me. So I call them that, but they're actually guns. Look at how massive this one is. Huge. Really cool. Especially if you're into this. Really, really awesome. Open today. Look at that gun. Look at how big that gun is. Oh my gosh. What a great Memorial Day place to go camping, to learn some facts about World War II and all the World War II vets. Awesome choice for a campground for Memorial Day. The Fort Miles Museum, just a couple of artifacts, but definitely worthwhile checking out for sure. They also have a tour you can go on that's only $6 a person. So I don't think the kids could last for the tour, but it probably is really cool. And you get to explore that entire battery, is what it's called, a battery. There's just so many different things to do here at Cape Henlopen, between the War Museum and later on we'll check out the Nature Center and the gorgeous beach. I mean, the beach is beautiful here, which is where we're headed now. Just so much to do. It's just an amazing campground. You do have to book far in advance, about a year out, depending on how popular of a time we've come. We've been able to book easily in November, but also you really have to book in advance if you're bringing a camper, especially because they don't have many large camper sites. And if it says 16 feet or whatever it would be, it means 16 feet. So don't go trying to squeeze your camper in. It's not going to fit. Oh, and the museum is also, it's completely free unless you pay for the tour, which again, $6 per person. So really awesome. All right, we have arrived at the main beach at Cape Henlopen. They have bathroom facility, they have food, ice cream, water ice. So it's a really nice facility. Let's go check out the beach.
Lightning strikes by my window, hits my chest right in the morning, like a warning. Could have slept here for days. I felt your heartbeat, felt your mouth breathe, but it's not real. We were close to see the sun, but
If you go on the beach down a little bit further, you can take your truck or Jeep on the beach, and they have surf fishing down there. But the main beach, no cars. Really makes me want a banana right now. So you can see behind me all the way down that beach. You can see the cars down there. I think that's fun. So Cape Henlopen also has a nature center. So let's go check out what's in this nature center. They also rent bikes. You can borrow a bike for 2 hours completely free, which is awesome. Here's the nature center. Horseshoe crabs. You can touch them.
I can't.
Yeah. 2 fingers. Back to the campground. Here is a little tour of the camp store. They have a lot of different items that you may need and some that you just may want. I totally forgot to get one of their magnets. They had really cute magnets. I keep a collection in the camper. So many trails for walking and biking all over Cape Henlopen State Park. We're gonna go show you a few. So along this trail here, there's tons of, I call them bunkers, but I think they're called batteries. So it's really cool to walk back here or bike back here on this trail. And it's beautiful up here right now. Beautiful, the sun is setting. I love it up here. This is up by Fort Miles, the museum we were at earlier today. Look, bud. Look here. Look. Ah! This bike trail that we did is just one of many. There's also several bike and walking trails through Cape Henlopen State Park as well that lead to various different places. But I like this one the best. And it's super shady too. Now, I know many of you probably do a lot of cooking while you're camping, but if you're looking for an awesome restaurant, one of my favorite places to go is right by the campground. It's called Big Oyster Brewery. They have a playground for the kids, they have great drinks and great food. I personally love their brisket and their Brussels sprouts. It is delicious. They also have a Crooked Hammock Brewery down a little bit further and many, many restaurants. So definitely, if you're looking for a night out on your camping trip, there are plenty of things to do. And plus, the town of Lewis is very nice as well. Let's get back to the campground. This is the beautiful playground right by our RV site, actually. The kids had a blast here. So they also have a fishing pier at Cape Henlopen. And you have a really great view of the lighthouse over to the side. But yeah, this is the fishing pier. It's beautiful here as well. There's also a really cute little beach here, which again, I love that it has a beautiful view here of the lighthouse. Kind of just reminds me of like a northern beach. Oh yeah, it's a horseshoe crab right there. Lots of them here.
Let's go down and pick it up.
You want to go fishing now?
I kind of do.
They have a little fishing shop, and then they also have kayaking and beach rentals right by the fishing pier here at Cape Henlopen.
Oh, 6. Yes. So easy though.
Back over in the state park area, they have more walking trails. They also have disc golf, if you're into disc golf. Looks like they have a pretty cool course here. And then they also have a huge playground over on the state park area that's pirate ship theme. Cape Henlopen also has another extra large playground over in the park area. This isn't in the campground, but really, really cool playground here. They have a little pirate ship. They have swings. Look at that cool little pirate ship. Little rock wall over there. Super cool. Very beautiful playground. Now this part of the video, I'm going to take you around the campground and show you all the sights. So we're at the main entrance of where you enter the park. And the campground is split into A, B, C, D, and E roads. The size of the sites vary per road. The sites here are small, so you do really have to know booking your site if your camper is going to fit. I even suggest making like a little trip here, checking out the site, because they're smaller than you think. Sometimes you think you can squeeze into a particular site. If your camper is larger than the site, you cannot stay in it. I'm going to briefly go down and spotlight a few sites. I'm starting at the A loop. This is A27, which is a decent size for a small camper, but there's a lot of people that tent camp down in this A loop. As you can see to the left, these spots are literally just parallel parking on the street, and then you can set up your tent back in the woods. But yeah, a lot of the sites here in this A loop are smaller. So tent sites, these are really nice tent sites though on the parallel parking side, because it's really shady. You have lots of tree coverage over on that side. Not a bad site. Coming up on A15, again, kind of a smaller site. You may be able to fit a small size camper like this one, like a mini light camper in there. A13, a little bit bigger, good size camper in there. But like this one is tiny. A11, I don't even know that you could fit anything more than a car in that spot. I don't know where your tent would end up going. A7, it's not a bad site. A5, also not a bad site. We're coming on A3. They fit a pretty big size camper. And A1 is a small site, but they do have a lot of little wooded area back here. And that's the end of the A loop. Now we're headed into the B loop. These are some really big sites down here. I'm not going to go all the way back back in this area, but most of it is tent camping beyond there. All right, now we're on to the B loop. Some really small sites here, B31. B18 is fitting a little bit of a larger camper. So this site is not part of the B loop. It looks like they consider this part of the C loop. This is a huge site. So all of the pull-through sites are huge. So you're safe. If you get a pull-through site, you could literally fit 2 campers on one pull-through site. B27. They squeezed this one in there. That's skill. B23 right here. Right across from the showers, right across from the playground, and right across from the camp store. '17's a small site. Looks like B15 is a decent sized site. B13, B11, B7, smaller sized campers are good there. Little Airstream, that one's cute. Okay, but here's like a really small site. B5. Like, I mean, I don't even know where does your tent even go? And same thing, B6. Well, 6 has a little bit more. They have a fire pit over there. I guess that's your fire pit at 5. But maybe you have to park your car somewhere else and you just leave your tent here? So small. B4 is a big site. B2. And then that's bringing us up to the C loop, which is the loop that I'm on. I don't think there's any loop that's better than the others. The only thing I would say is the B and the C loop are closer to the playground. So like, I love that because I can just, my son has loved going on the playground constantly. So it's nice that you're close. You don't have to worry about them. Right. So C loop. So these are technically in the E loop. They're both huge pull-through sites. C3, pretty big site. C5 is a tiny site. I think this is actually the site we stayed in before. Here's another pull-through, which is going to be on the east side. Again, totally safe in any of the pull-through sites. They are all huge. But you can see, like, C7, tiny. C9, tiny. You can see, like, the car literally takes the whole spot. C4, small. C6, small. You can see they must have parked somewhere else. Tiny. And we're in site C8. Here's our camper. And our site's pretty good. You can see the playground is literally right there. This is a really good site here. Big camper. Although camper does look a little big for the site, but they made it work. C12. That's what this site is. C14, decent size. Right across from the playground. C16. C18. It's a big site. C20. C20 is a pretty big site. They have plenty of room there. Alright, so here's one of those pull-throughs. C17. Literally, like I said, you could fit 2 campers, which I don't think they allow, but that would actually be really awesome. And C19. I mean, look at this. Huge camper. Big tent. Pop up in the middle. That's a huge site. C21. Also really large. And C25. It's a decent sized site. And I think that's taking us to the end of the C loop. This is C23 right here. That's a small site. And then this is just some overflow parking. So they definitely have extra parking. You won't have any trouble getting your car somewhere. Look at this little guy right here. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know that that's big enough for me to sleep in. Look at that thing. So small. And over here, this is just lots of tent spots, tent sites over here. And then we're coming up on the D loop. So, same thing. Some pull-through sites here. Let's see what they got. 35. And it is evening time, so it's hard to say which sites are shady, but I would say for the most part, a lot of the sites here are pretty shady. There's a pull through there. These are all pull throughs, but they're on the E loop. I think the E loop is a lot of pull through sites. See, D25. D23 is a really small site. There's D20. They fit a B in there, a C in there. What is that? C. D18 is D16, D17. They fit this huge RV in here. Whew, they cut that one close. D12. D15, D13, small, just a Sprinter in there, D11, oh, and there's my family there, whistling it. This is D9, D4, D7 is tiny site, and then D5, one of the huge pull-through sites, really nice size site. D2 looks like mainly a tent site. And then both D3 and D1, this is a site. This is a pull-through site. That's how big they are. Right there. And then we're gonna move to the road E. I keep calling them loop, but the road's road E. And the cabins are also back here. And then I believe, like as you see, there's tent sites over here. There's a lot of tent sites over to the right-hand side in the woods as well. I will show you when I get there. So road E, E1, looks like a tent site primarily. The cabins are down here. The cabins look actually really cute. I'll run through some of the E-loop first. I may cut off and split over to the cabins. This is E3. It's kind of a smaller site there. Actually, it's pretty decent. E5 is a decent site here. And this one coming up right here is E7. It's a good size. E9. It's a pretty big camper in there. And then bathroom facility right over here to the right. And then a couple of, looks like a pull through site here, big site, E13. And I think most of the rest of these are big pull through sites. E15, E17 are all big, large sites. I think I'm gonna omit those. I'm sorry if those are the ones that you're looking at, but they're all really look like they're pretty good size sites. And then here's the little cabins, which look adorable. They have a little porch. I have no idea what they look like on the inside. They do look really nice. And again, right next to the bathroom. Not sure if they have bathrooms in them, but you're literally right by the bathroom. So if you don't have it, it's okay. And then now I'm down on road F, which these are some of the best tent sites, I think. They're like in the woods. It's got really good vibe back here. And then they have a place for you to park your car. You do have to walk around, so you're not like parked and then your stuff's right there, which makes it really like primitive, I guess is the right word. F1. And these are some smaller sites too. And there's the tenting sites. Really cool back there though. Cool vibes. You feel like you're one with nature back there. That is a cool looking car. Let's see, F4. These are kind of smaller sites again. And here, let me show you the tents. Again, it's just like really cool vibes back there. That's why it's one of my favorite tent areas. There's just no cars, so you feel like you're actually out in the woods, but your car's right there. Alright, I'll finish up and I'll head back down the E-loop. So again, a lot of these are big pull-through sites. E25 looks like a great site. Nice room there. E23, medium site. E21, E10, E8, and then here are some of the big pull-throughs. This is a really nice site, actually. This has like plenty of room, good trees to hang a hammock. This one is E19. So that concludes my campground tour. So hopefully that was helpful, but I think the biggest thing to take away is to know that what it says that the site is what it is exactly. It doesn't mean you can fit a little bit more, a couple more feet. Sometimes that's it. You're not getting any bigger. So I hope you enjoyed my tour of Camp Henlopen. And every loop in the middle has a little walkway, so you can get directly to a facility. So I've just gone through 2 of these, from E Loop back to C Loop, to get back to my camper. And it's a long night at the playground. Okay, that concludes my Cape Henlopen vlog. We love this campground. We come back over and over and over again. It's really one of the nicest state parks, I think, that I've been to. So leave me a comment below. What do you think? Have you been here? Or where's your favorite state park to camp at? Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Be more adventurous.